Yema obibia Merry Christmas. What you say? Yegusua ewo Christmas mood nim. Ye festive season no ye wom papa. Na busua yi Global Info Analytics yewra Musa Dankwa the latest post aba montin so. Na post we odi abai edien ene akire. Ni na efa NPP yenim se 2026 ye nyankopon egi etata edi akomi. Sebi eburu sebi enyado. NPP for ewo elections bi edomonim. Na election ben na make ho asem. Ni na obi a obetu franka edi amomo ewo afi mpimienu ene aduonu enwotwe emu, that is 2028 general elections no. What you say na abusia yebekọ na ekotie Musa Dankwa the latest post and what it depicts, who leads who, and as a wine ena eyeden odikan yenkwa na yenkotie nsema Musa Dankwa ewo de maye na mesro se ene Christmas day, Boxing Day. What you say ene ye boy ano twede says ana Ghana for a kind by ne normal sense no ye cover bibi ho na achedi bi ne dia komo obi. What you say ba Ghana de say Boxing Day ye boy ano twede etabusia yanko na yenkotie se ne mu enchire mu ne koba ya to aso pepepe e dia ma o platform so yankopon enka na onchira papa.
At the macro level, those indicators, because they reflect in the cost of goods and services, and again, food price inflation in particular, which has come down quite significantly. Especially when you link that to the imported items, which is also driven by exchange rate. So the strength of the currency has made certain goods very, very cheap compared to a year ago.
Very, very cheap?
Yes. I mean, if you say price of certain things coming down by 50%, for our standards, this is quite significant. And most people, look, if you look at the people's budget, household budget, over 60% goes into food. So once you're able to tackle the food aspect of inflation, I think people's sentiment and mood will change. And it is the inflation that is coming down, the cedi performance against the foreign currencies, also a large factor to what we are seeing right now.
How are people, apart from Accra, Kumasi, and the big cities, able to share in that? Because when it comes to the pattern of expenditure and consumer spending, and then the effects of perhaps the poor macro indicators, it's only the big spenders in the big cities, those who own businesses, those who drive policy, those who make the commentary at the pressure group and civil society level who tend to feel it the most.
This kind of sentiment cuts across the entire country.
Really?
When you look at those who say the country is heading in the right direction, every region believe that by majority the country is heading in the right direction. Every region. Every region says that the standard of living has improved across. There's no exception. When you ask them about the optimism for the future, every region is optimistic that things would improve. We haven't seen North and South. It's just across board.
Okay. At the government circles, the former member of parliament from you, that's Mohammed Abdulaziz. How are you taking these, so to speak, in terms of the reaction towards how well the economy is being managed or not?
Roland, we are excited. And we are excited because Ghanaians are excited. Apart from the data that Musa Dankwa has just shared with us, you are also aware that we are recording recoveries in the economy. The IMF, the ECF that we signed with the IMF in 2023 May had some targets that we were supposed to meet. By the end of 2024, we had missed out on most of these targets that we signed onto. Thankfully, you are aware that when President Mohamed NDC assumed power somewhere in January this year up to today, we have seen inflation trend downwards from nearly 24% to about some 6.3% today. That is not just data. It also reflects in the experiences that Ghanaians go through in their markets. For instance, a liter of fuel that was sold for almost 25 Ghana cedis in 2022, somewhere in November, and then later around 17 Ghana cedis somewhere November 2024, is today going for averagely 12 Ghana cedis, a liter of petroleum products. Roland, I saw a post by somebody, I don't know if I can mention his name, but somebody who is not an NDC person, somebody who is for like apolitical, indicate that he went to buy iron rods, and I'm sure you have seen it.
Kofi Asare.
Kofi Asare.
One time, a big critic of the Akufo-Addo government, yes.
Of course, he was very critical of the NDC.
Of the first NDC.
This is not somebody you can say is an NDC person. He says that iron rods that he used to buy at 10,000 Ghana cedis today, he went to buy same at 7,500 Ghana cedis. That is about 25% reduction in price. Today, we are told that a bag of maize that was going for 700 Ghana cedis today goes for somewhere around 300 Ghana cedis. Yesterday, I saw a receipt. Somebody went to buy a cement somewhere in the Ashanti region at 74 Ghana cedis. So when we say inflation is trending downwards, those are the lived experiences of Ghanaians. And as a government, we're excited because we promise to make life better for the ordinary Ghanaian. And that's exactly what we are doing. In fact, when the Minister for Finance appeared before Parliament for vetting, I'm sure most of us have actually forgotten. He had three things he said he wanted to achieve: to cut expenditure, reduce our debt levels, and also stabilize the local currency. Today, the cedi is selling for around 11.5 Ghana cedis. He has been able to cut expenditure. He has been able to cut waste in the system. And so to the extent that the Ghanaian people are enjoying all these goodies from President Mahama and the NDC, we can only be excited. The ECF that we have with the IMF is scheduled to end somewhere in May next year, yes. Ideally. But the IMF is proposing that we extend the ECF to somewhere August. I'm sure the managers of the economy and cabinet would consider the proposal by the IMF. If it would inure to the benefit of Ghanaians, why not? And if it is the other way around, I'm sure government would be able to take a decision that would inure to the benefit of the ordinary Ghanaians. But on the, I mean, it's not surprising to us that about 66% of Ghanaians think that the country is moving in the right direction. Some people, for very pure political reasons, would not see anything good under President Mahama and the NDC. And so they can come under 34%. But we believe that, look, Ghanaians are experiencing what they haven't seen before. In my life, this is the only first time I have seen prices of goods going down. In fact, when we started talking about the inflation, our colleagues in the NPP...
I don't understand. Prices of goods haven't gone down.
Oh, Roland, tell me, in what point in time or history did we record prices going down, especially at the level that we are seeing today? Tell me in your adult life. No.
Oh, how?
No. No. Tell me. So what we are simply saying is this. If the government deems it fit to extend the IMF deal, we would. When we started talking about the inflation, I nearly lost my thought on that. Our colleagues were saying that, oh, inflation is trending down, but prices are still going up. Very, very loose analysis.
Why is it loose?
Because inflation trending down does not mean that prices would go down.
Reduce. What
it means is that the rate at which prices go up would slow down. In this case, we're even seeing prices going down. In fact, the food security report shows that food prices in this country since January have gone down by 32%. Right? And so I am hoping to see, maybe one would go into 2026, would begin to record disinflation. I'm sure we are going to have inflation in the negative. Yeah. And that is when Ghanaians would see much better goodies than they are seeing today.
Aren't you being too optimistic? Because the pressures are coming.
From where?
That the excessive rationalization also means that we haven't been spending in areas.
Roland, that is not true. That's not true.
Especially when it comes to procurement. Of course, we have the big push, which has a 60 billion budget.
Roland, that is not true. When they say we're not spending,
criticism being leveled against that.
No. Today, my assembly that used to receive on the average 300,000 Ghana cedis a quarter as common fund, today receives about 2 million Ghana cedis a quarter.
Your assembly?
I'm telling you, ask all the assemblies. They are now receiving their assembly common funds in millions, not in thousands. Some assemblies have received to the tune of 6 million Ghana cedis.
Why is that?
It's because we have stopped making some deductions in Accra. We are making adequate allocations to the assemblies because development must be locally based.
I see.
I'm saying that assemblies that used to receive about 300,000 Ghana cedis today receives about 2 million Ghana cedis. Why? Haven't we made releases to the health insurance fund? Haven't we uncapped the health insurance fund? Haven't we uncapped a get fund? Don't we make releases? They promise to do no fee stress. Are we not on course? Free tertiary education for people living with disabilities. We are making prudent expenditure. What we don't do and will not do would be to use about $90 to $100 million in digging a hole. That we will not do. Those are the waste expenditure that President Mahama and the NDC will not do.
So you're saying the supporters of those one are those criticizing?
Oh,
is that the claim you're making?
These are our political opponents, and their arguments lacks merit.
Austin,
the facts on the ground doesn't speak to that.
Okay. If you make reference to the fifth report based on the assessments within the program by the IMF board, there's every indication that they seem to be happy with the trend, the way the program has been implemented, the ECF in itself. Because they say the reforms are yielding results after the 2024 period policy slippages. Yeah. Okay, so we went off track. Yeah. And so they say that they will rate this as being satisfactory in the first place. But I mean, you are out there, you engage with clients, with the generality of the public, etc. The government has been getting accolades generally. The citizens seem to be getting a buy-in, or the government is getting a buy-in from the citizens. Yet some sections of the business community say, we want you to spend. The government is also arguing, just like he has, I want to spend right. Where do we dovetail both sides of the narrative?
Well, I think this is a familiar script.
I don't understand.
It's a familiar script. I think
you're familiar with the script?
You know, Musa Dankwa was saying that he didn't conduct poll after the 2016 election. I'm sure if he had done that, he would have, in 2017, he would have also found similar pattern.
Like where Ken Oforiato was given accolades, great.
That period, 2017.
2018.
You get it. So that's what I'm saying, that it's a familiar script. So it doesn't come to me as a surprise. And what my question to this government is, they should be careful of the IMF. Because the politics at the IMF is scary. Because if you read repeatedly their reports, particularly from 2017, they were praising the government then. At a point when the opposition then, the NDC was in opposition, the NDC was saying the macroeconomic stability is vulnerable. IMF was saying that the government was on track. Then quickly when the government exited, the IMF started releasing or revealing some of the underlying unresolved vulnerabilities. So it's a familiar script. I have said that there are so many factors that, in fact, that deliver a strong economy or seemingly strong economy after elections. And even the shock, a change of government is itself a shock, a factor. And I'm sure Musa Dankwa will, the process will confirm that there are a lot of factors, policies, sometimes the confidence of the international community, even in the new government, because sometimes they feel the previous government.
So you mean that if the old government had continued, we would have slipped deeper into a hole?
No, because
So
they were losing confidence. The previous government lost international confidence and even domestic confidence. So clearly there was an urgent need for a change of government. That's what I'm saying, that the mere change itself is a contributing factor to the what we are witnessing now, and not only because of the policies that this government has rolled out. But here's the thing, Roland. I mean,
you don't think that being prudent in expenditure, rationalizing it, is the best way to be able to manage this economy from what we've seen over the last couple of years?
No. What I know is that to win ourselves off IMF oxygen, we need to, be committed to fiscal discipline. I agree, but to deliver a sustainable economy, fiscal discipline alone is not enough. We must take steps to diversify the economy itself, focus on matters like industrialization and cutting down import dependency. There's a mix of other factors or things that the government will need to roll out. So being fiscally disciplined is not in itself a foolproof, let me say, measure or something that will insulate you from economic vulnerabilities. Roland, what I'm saying is that I think this government has a choice. And like you were articulated, the IMF has given a proposal to extend the program. I have said that it's our continuous dependence on the IMF is really not nice. In fact, it shows that we are very weak when it comes to policy decisions. In fact, policy incoherence, economic management. Sometimes I wonder when we have fine brains who sat in lecture halls with some of the managers of the US economy, the UK economy, yet we tend to go to IMF. And the IMF recently, they issued a policy note on Ghana. I think it was published on 22nd December. And they noted that we spent almost 40% of our 68 years. That's our existence. That's Ghana since independence. So from independence to date, we spent 40 years out of 68 with them. That is staggering. And to think that...
Okay, well, there are countries like Korea, Brazil, Argentina, etc. They've been on numerous IMF programs and they've done well.
Yes, and even when you look at the rate at which they go in and come out, some of them stop. But it looks like it's like a game of chess. We go in and we come out. So, Roland, what I'm saying is, if this government is convinced that it has laid a solid foundation, it should not agree to an extension, because it doesn't augur well. And to think that we are in the top 10 African countries that borrow from IMF and is always sort of dependent on IMF, it's not good for us. The government must take. I agree that we are enjoying some benefits from the actions and activities of the government. But if they think they've laid a solid foundation, they shouldn't go for the extension.
Professor Intri.
Yes.
So far, it looks like for many of the African governments and countries, if we're under the Bretton Woods programs, we tend to do well. We tend to be fiscally prudent, rationalized, and disciplined. And we witnessed that up to 2018, 2019 trouble. Before then, we had some difficulty saying, and this time around, I mean, we were off tangents, or up to the last year. A new government comes, there's discipline, there's that rationalization. Everybody is on their toes. I mean, we can go beyond 3 months, right?
It's interesting to listen to all my colleagues.
Because
I have the benefit of the doubt.
I deliberately made you...
For the last... my orientations are different, and sometimes we all have to agree to disagree agreeably. Even you don't need education to know that this country is going on the right direction. I'm a professor and I swim in data. Unfortunately, Ghanaians don't believe in research. They believe rather in prophecies than research. But research is everywhere. World Bank and IMF, they do research, and that is what drives the data. So I agree with them that the Ghana country as a country, we are going in the right direction. The government is doing great. NPP people know, NDC people know. When something is good, everybody sees it. You don't have to have a political color to see that. But again, we need to be watchful of the trend. Why do I say so? Because the IMF works with Ghana. They don't work for Ghana. I'm using my words with care. They don't work for Ghana. They work with Ghana. So we have to know the history of the IMF from 1947 after the Second World War and what happened. The IMF and the World Bank work together and they have similarities. The first one is that they are owned and directed by the governments of member nations. Now, almost every country in the world is a member of IMF. They are both concerned with the economic issues of the country. Both of them are headquartered in Washington, D.C., in U.S. There's a reason why. There's also the reason why both focus on broadening and strengthening the economies of member nations. And then they hold annual joint meetings to collaborate together, and then they share joint task forces and sessions and research efforts. Now, the French were the first to borrow from the IMF. I want that to be on record, that the French were the first to borrow from the IMF. We joined in the 1960s, and the Soviets joined in 1989. After that, we have gone to over 189 countries. We have gone to the IMF almost every 4 years after independence. We've gone almost 18 times, and it means that we cannot leave. 17. I said almost. I always choose my word.
Yeah. No, the English is right. Please continue, Professor.
So the reason why we've been going there almost every time is that we are not learning from, because the IMF and the World Bank are borrowers. They are borrowers. Now, a borrower is just like somebody who borrows money in my village. That person do not have your interest at heart.
He's making profit.
The person is making profit out of you. So there will be structural, adjustment, pay this, pay that. Recently, there was 367 million that we had to pay after extension of 2 years. Now, listen to me. The Shraj boss said that corruption alone at $2 billion. $2 billion. And you are scrambling for $369 million from IMF. We don't need to go to the IMF, because the more you borrow, that money will linger, the interest rate and everything. You will never stop paying. Let me show you how the IMF have been criticized and the reason why we don't have to go there. I was talking to some chiefs this weekend, this Christmas, and they told me that, Prof, tell the government that if they are able to put those people who have embezzled money into jail, they don't care about interest rate, they don't care about anything, put them to jail. The people of Ghana want to know that NDC comes and they say NPP people have been corrupted. They've embezzled money. We know about the national service issue. We know about the Adubuahin issues, and it's back and forth and back and forth. Nothing happens. Ghanaians don't want to see that again. They want people who have embezzled our money to be put to jail and their assets confiscated. I saw that somebody said they were supposed to pay 22 million out of the 38 million, right? The name was not mentioned. And government should take that money and put that person to jail too. And confiscate all the assets. That is what Ghanaians want to see. Because for far too long, the money that we earn here from our gold, timber, bauxite, lithium, all this money is in the country, and about a quarter of it falls into individual pockets. So Ghanaians say I should tell the government that put those who have embezzled our money to jail. They don't care about inflation. They don't care about anything that is going on. It is good for them. But they want to see people who have embezzled our money to go to jail, so that previous government and subsequent government will come and they will sort that. Now let me go to the IMF. The conditionalities are very, very strict when it comes to them.
Very stringent.
Because they are looking for higher taxes and then lower spending. So we talk about sovereignty. They are dictating for you. Americans know how they decide the economy, what to do. You don't come and decide for them that you are a development partner.
In a way, they keep you stagnant.
Definitely. They keep you in perpetual debt because they are working with you, not for you. And they have a job once you keep coming and borrowing from them. Remember, the headquarters is in Washington, D.C., both the IMF and the World Bank. And there's a reason why John Maynard Keynes and Henry Dexter Wright, who formed the idea of the IMF and the World Bank, there's a reason why they formed it. It wasn't formed by us. And there's a reason why they formed it. The second one is that they always go for higher interest rates to stabilize the currency of you. Do you know why currencies are rated? That we all trade the whole world in the dollar instead of the euro and the others. They make sure that they rate currencies. So recently, America is weighted 41 0.73% as a weighted currency, and that's why the whole world you have to treat their currency. And then they weight the Europe at 30.93, Chinese yuan at 10.93, and the British pound is 8.09. There is a reason why they rate currencies. So our currencies are not rated when it comes to international market. There's a reason why, also an ethical reason why they also list money at the highest. So you see, the highest currency in US is the $100 bill. There's a reason why it is like that. But if you go to the euro, what's the highest currency? It's 500. Americans will never go above 100. There's a reason why so their economic policies are calculated. We just go to borrow and then they tell you, go and do it like that. They give you conditionalities and we go for it because we have borrowed from them. And a debtor is an asset. Those of you who have done accounting, a debtor is an asset. So if you owe me, you are my asset. I can do whatever I want to do. Debt collectors can call you in US at 1 a.m. even on Sundays when you are at church because you owe them.
They called you before?
Oh, definitely. If you owe, they will call you.
They called you?
Debt collector will call you. I was a Ghana Assistant President in Cincinnati. I know what I'm talking about. They will call you. So they will keep calling you because you owe them. The other thing is that structural adjustments have not worked for us. So we talk about privatization, deregulation, reducing corruption and bureaucracy. That has not worked for us. We shouldn't sit down for another country to come and tell us to reduce corruption. We should do it ourselves. The same way I compare Nigeria issue. If I'm in my home and I'm busy my wife and somebody come to separate us in a fight, they know how to separate the fight, right? They will push you more because you are beating a woman. So we should be watching against that. The other one is lack of transparency and involvement. Some of these IMF people, some of the policy they give to us, there's lack of transparency. They don't even involve the country. You don't have a say because they are giving you money, they tell you what to do. Remember the last time we had Kenke party? We received money and had Kenke. You've gone to borrow and you are celebrating it with Kenke party. Maybe the next time will be Wache party or whatever.
The Kenke party was to herald.
And then we also have a situation where IMF have been supporting some coup d'etats and military people who have abused, individuals, and we don't like it. So what I'm saying is that African countries should sit down and ask ourselves, with all the plethora of resources in the bellies of our land, do we need the IMF? It is high time we make our own decisions because before independence, yes. But now if you go and borrow money and the person who is borrowing the money also asks you to use the money the way they want you to use it, then will you be held accountable if it doesn't work? I leave the question to Ghanaians to answer.
The subject, I remember for many of your research outcomes, the economy, corruption became very topical, and education, of course. We had top 5, health also involved in that. And where we are because the government had become unpopular, and so they were booted out. And hearing the party is convening another presidential election again to make sure that they come back to power. They're very sure, that is the NPP, that 2028, that was the election year, they're going to come back. So on the 7th of January 2028, one of the 4 who is elected as presidential candidate would be. And key among them, apart from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, you find that Kennedy Japan has been very strong on the subject of entrepreneurship, the economy, etc. How are their messages selling among the delegates in the first place?
If you look at the current campaign from both camps, they kind of look at a hybrid kind of campaign. Hybrid. They are looking at delegate at the same time talking to the country. Because whatever people say in the country, delegates tend to hear it as well. So you can see that they are kind of splitting their messages into appealing to the delegate in terms of internal structuring, reorganization, making them better and that kind of thing. At the same time, telling Ghanaians what they will do if they're given the chance. It's been very difficult in terms of seeing which messages the people are really going for. But one thing, or that one message that has been very effective so far from the polling data, is really about their internal elections and the fact that if you present somebody for the second time, that person tends to do better in the subsequent elections.
But that's historical analysis, trend analysis.
No, the trend is there, but also from the data what we spoke to delegates.
Okay.
In the November poll, about 59% of them believe that yes, if you present someone for the second time, the chances get enhanced. But in the current polling, that number has dropped to 50%.
To 50%?
Yes, from 59 to 50.
Ideally, what should have been?
There's no benchmark.
Okay.
But you can say that half of the delegates believe that
50-50.
50-50. No, not in fact, not 50-50, because half believe so. Others have no opinion.
Okay.
Those who oppose that notion about 20-something%, which is not very big. So you could see that large delegates believe that second chance for candidate does better. That, I think, seems to have cut through for one of the candidates. Who? This is Bawumia. Because he's the one that was presented before. He's the one that...
So the second coming...
It will be him.
Favors
him. So...
The resurrection of the Messiah.
The Messiah. I think that is what is working for him so far. And also, the issue of risk-taking by delegates is a big factor. You know, if you are a young person, you tend to take risk. But you have more years ahead of you. Experiment. But delegates are not younger delegates. They are 45 and above to 60, 70 years.
The NPP delegates?
Delegates. So, Kennedy tends to appeal more to the younger delegates who are risk takers.
What are the demographics in terms of the delegates population?
Now, let me look at the current data, the age group. People who are 18 to 24, about 4%.
Oh, you don't mean it. How many are they?
Oh, because they will be younger. Because
no, but how many generally are the delegates for the NPP?
You can maybe around 250 thereabout with the expansion. But the
totally 250,000.
Over 2,000.
No, 250 or 200,000 or so.
200,000. And they only have 4% of them young.
The bulk of the delegates are in the grassroots, the police station executives.
Okay.
They account for more than 90% of the voting bloc. Now, the last time the album was revised was about 4 years ago.
Okay.
So you don't expect a lot of young people to go in there. So, but they still have people who are 24 years in the album, about 4%.
4%.
But those who are 25 to 24, about 15%. So below 34, about 19%. Now, 45% are between 35 and 44 years.
45%?
Yes, 45%.
35 to 44 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 29% people who are between 45 and 54 years. So this two block is going to give you around 74%. They are heavily skewed conservatives. And these guys are very risk averse.
Yes.
So taking risk for them is difficult. So the album itself has been one of the challenges that Kennedy has to fight from the demographic point of view.
Okay.
And that is something that I don't know how...
So let me ask you, from the numbers that you're polling, is it the delegates and the demographic of the delegates and their behavioral pattern that is keeping Ken under 32%?
I think so.
Okay.
No doubt.
Can I then interpret what you're saying to mean that he's appealing to people or demographics outside the NPP delegate structure?
On the broader level, he appeals to younger delegates.
Okay. Why?
Well, for what I said, conservatism. And the NPP is a conservative party. They want to preserve things that they know, things that are not kind of very dynamic. They tend to keep things smooth and stable. Radicalism is not what you associate conservative parties with. So
but Ken has been speaking power. Have you watched some of his campaign? I'm always on TikTok.
No, I'm
He's
speaking
having bottles of shampoo. I mean, beg my pardon. Whether it's fruit juices and experiment and telling them that, look, I have business dealings in so and so areas. I have invested so much in certain areas, and so trying to actually practicalize why entrepreneurship and investing in the private sector should be the way we oil the economy and revive Ghana.
Is that what the people want to hear, the delegates? I don't know. I haven't done any survey to know what they want to hear. But from what we've been hearing from them, it's about common theme.
Okay.
The common theme appear not to kind of be the style of Kennedy.
Okay. My last question then will be, how do the numbers run for the, how many are they, 4 or 5? 5. I mean, what are the numbers like, the percentages?
At the moment, it is about 45%.
45%.
Plus or minus 2% margin of error.
So if there's an election today, he would win?
Yeah, I think he will win.
Okay, and then who is the second?
Kennedy's second now, 31%.
31%.
Plus or minus 2% margin of error.
Okay. So,
and then Brian is about
so
3%.
33, 34.
I mean, if you do upper limit, but don't forget that
I want to do upper.
There are about 9% who are undecided and 10% who said they will not disclose.
Okay, so if we add 31 and then we to the 9, we get 40.
Add the 31 to the 11%.
Okay, so 42%.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be very, very conservative for no, the group who are undisclosed, but those who are undecided, they are the ones that will really determine who wins.
And then who is following?
It's about 9%.
Who is following third?
That is Brian on 3%.
Okay, and then fourth?
The rest is Edichum below 0.5 and engineer also below 0.4.
As for the NDC, you have no business with the NPP. You've been observing the message in the campaigns, so I'll give you 2 minutes. Just wrap up on it.
Oh, Roland, 2 minutes will not be enough. I beg you.
No, because they're having some interesting
2 minutes will not be enough. You see, the NPP, like any other political party, is a public institution. And so whether we belong to the NPP or not, we have a stake in that party. It's a public institution. Because this is a party that seeks to govern this country. And I live in this country. So we have interest in what's going on in the NPP. Now, we have about 4 or 5 of them running for the flag bearership race. Sometimes I ask myself, how soon and how did we get here? How did the NPP get to where they are today? Growing up, we saw the likes of Hackman Osu Ajiman, right? We saw the likes of Papa Osu Ankoma. We saw the likes of Konedu Apreku. These were real men of substance who aspired to lead this party. Today, the NPP has sunk so low to the extent that all those who are running, trust me, Roland, ask yourself what is your track record. Today, everybody who is able to mobilize some few millions into his bank account sees himself as a presidential material.
Why not?
It should not be about money.
Money runs
it should
politics.
Be about, no, it should be about substance and what you bring on board.
You've campaigned to be MP.
Yes, but Roland, it's because
and even re-enter the race again.
Yes, it's because I felt I had the capacity to govern the constituency. For instance, when you talk about Brachampong, at the mention of his name, what comes to your mind? And here also by elections crisis, the purchase of a hotel, a state property. These are the things that will come to your mind. Dr. Mahmoud Ebaumia, this man suffers credibility deficits. Nobody in this country trusts him again. And we again.
That's Ken.
Kennedy is
the only one who cannot do anything.
Please.
Oh,
how did they get where they are today? That Ken wants to be president of this republic.
It's a businessman.
Long-standing
member of parliament for.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That when somebody makes a few millions, when somebody thinks he or she is rich, then suddenly he sees himself as a potential president. Let's take this country serious. But you see, for us in the NDC, we don't care who emerges as their leader or their flag bearer. We don't. Because we are very confident that the Ghanaian electorate is rational. And that no voter, if the trend continues to be what it is today, would abandon the NDC and go in for the NPP, irrespective of who leads them. In fact, I am very sure that at the end of the day, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia would win. That's what it looks like. And so I'm not surprised that it's somewhere around 45% plus or minus 2%. But you see, if he gets anything less than 50%, at the last primaries, he scored about 61%. If the man gets anything less than 50%, what that would mean is that about half of his own party people have rejected him. Even when he scored 61%, what was his percentage of votes at the national elections? Anything below 50% means a lot of issues for him. You see, Roland, when we're talking about the economy and stuff like that, we have so forgotten that in the next few days, President Mahama and the NDC will have been exactly 1 year in government. We have not recorded a single corruption scandal
yet.
And we don't intend to. We will not. Because the warning is very clear from President Mahama. Every appointee is very cautious of what he or she does. Because the man says that if you are caught in the web, I will not protect you. And you can see it in the man's demeanor that he will not protect any appointee who misbehaves. Now, how on earth, with all these things that we have talked about, a rational electorate in Ghana would abandon the NDC and vote for the NPP and vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? Would Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia now return back to the economy, or he still be talking about digitalization? If he decides to come back to the national economy, what would he be talking about? Public debt, the city? This was a man who told us that when you are in doubt, watch the exchange rate. And to our NPP folks today, if you are in doubt whether the economy is being managed well or not, just go by the words of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Watch the exchange rate, which is now around 11.5 Ghana cedis, as against 17 Ghana cedis under the NPP. And so we are very comfortable that at the next post, very comfortable that again, at the next post in 2028, the mandate of the NDC would be renewed. I can't see any of these 4 or 5 people either. Look, I take some inspiration from
please wrap up for me.
Brad Champon. Brad Champon describes Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, these are not my words, as a rotten tomato, and that no seller would take a rotten tomato to the market to sell. These are the words of Brad Champon. Roland, in the history of this country, no presidential candidate on the ticket of the NPP or the NDC has scored 0 in any polling station. Dr. Bawumia scored 0 in about 40 polling stations. In 7 regions, he won no constituency. And this is a candidate that they want to refuel. They should bring him, irrespective of who will lead the NDC. We are sure.
Is it true?
Oh,
I'm not easy. I don't know.
I'm saying you can go and check.
It's a campaign message. I don't know.
In about 40 polling stations in this country, and that has never happened.
What is wrong if you get 0 in 40 polling stations?
They have 9 polling stations.
We're talking polling stations.
They have executives. Listen, Roland, in those polling stations, they have executives. So even their own party executives did not vote for him. In about 14 polling stations.
Austin,
can you imagine this?
Austin, the messaging in itself. I've heard,
so you know,
there's a gospel. Ken himself has been. Ken himself says that I'm not going to throw jabs, but you know when he gets instigated, then he blasts it. Then we've seen Brian also on the media trail going round as well. The messaging.
No,
is it going to resonate with the delegates?
No, I think.
And then on the sideline, we have the generality of the outside MPP voters in the general pool.
But well, if there's anything to go by, the data reveals that Ken is growing stronger by the day.
That's true.
You get it, and anything can happen. And I'm sure Musa Dankwa
Ken is growing stronger
by the day.
By the day.
Yes, because the data keeps changing. If
so, you're saying he's going to win?
I think anything is possible. But for me, I have intimated that it will be better for them to bring Ken than Bawumia because of credibility issues.
Explain.
I'm saying that Bawumia has lost credibility generally in the face of Ghanaians. Personally, I told you, when we praised this gentleman as an economic messiah, and they had opportunity, and they ran us aground, I mean, the consequences will be that, or the bigger consequence will be that you lose confidence in that person. Because if you are told that this person is a good manager, then the person is not able to manage even the economy to your satisfaction, to the point that they even told us that oh, we have attained economic sovereignty, we're not going back to the IMF. Then quickly,
not today, not tomorrow,
not today, not tomorrow. Then quickly,
Joshua Caleb.
So Roland, the thing is that all the cries over economic sovereignty and other things saw us at the doorstep of IMF. So this is not somebody for me I will bang my hope on, or somebody.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yeah, no, I will not, because
so he's leading 45%.
It's possible that he may not lead maybe in a week's time. Because anything
in 3 weeks' time.
In 3 weeks' time. Because the dynamics could change. Ken's message, like Musa said, is resonating with a cross-section of the delegate. Who knows? Maybe the percentage of people who are conservative may have a change in mind. Because the thing is that, and I agree with Honorable when he said that Bawumia is enjoying, he appears to be a favorite candidate. And he may win because he's enjoying some perks.
But far less than 61% that he scored the last time.
Yes.
You won't get that one again.
Yes, I'm obviously. And it even shows the discontent within
his own party.
Among his own members.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I think the NPP delegate should make a good choice. Go for Ken, drop Bawumia. Because the thing is that Bawumia has lost confidence.
You should go for Ken.
Yes, and drop Bawumia.
Ken doesn't have debts, you say?
No, the thing is that Ken has issues. But when it comes to the thing is, the economy, the foundation of our society hinges on the economy. And if you have lost your economic messianic credibility, it means that we should rather make you maybe a minister. No, because the thing is that this is someone.
That same man was
From vice president to a minister.
was able to partner Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and win overwhelmingly in 2016.
That was the message they showed us. Even they told us Akufo-Addo is a ruthless man. That he will fight corruption and he will make sure that if an appointee is accused of any corruption-related activities, he will deal with that person. What happened to him? He was also shown to us as a messiah. Then later realized that this messiah.
One of our viewers, Moses, says that Bawumia at the delegates level may be good, but at the national level, it will be difficult to sell Bawumia. Is that what you're
That's what I'm saying. Because the credibility was.
So go for Ken.
Go for Ken because Ken has issues. Ken has issues, but you can work around and you build him. But Bawumia is like selling somebody who is not being bought, or selling somebody nobody is interested in buying.
Hey, Lawyer Branko, the way you're campaigning for Ken on this level.
No, it's not about campaigning.
I'm not campaigning for him.
It's the reality.
It's the reality.
You're NDC. I don't know.
You're selling tomatoes.
This NDC man,
Let me come in with my own perspective. Our elders say that the string of Orphanski beads might look better on the leopard, but it is the antelope that has lost the mother.
Which adage is it? From which of the groupings? Is it an Akan group?
It's an Akan.
Okay, an Akan proverb.
Yes, an Akan proverb. What that means is that this is an NPP internal issues. And NDC should be careful about letting success be a stumbling block.
Why?
Because you can be blinded by your success. We all have blank sides. So when you are doing well and everybody thinks you're doing well, you should be continuing to do well. The average CEO in America have been fired 3 times. There's a reason why. You can reach the apex of everything, they will still fire you and bring another person. Because the different level that they want to go, you might not take them there. Having said that, I've also seen couples fighting and they divorced. And I've advised them, I'm also a counselor, that no.
Are you talking about Adjasafo and Ken?
No, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Well, this is not related to politics.
It's not related to any of that. But then I have advised them to go back and then they would tell me, Prof, the insult we insulted each other and the fighting that we had, so we can't go back to each other again. That we should be careful in NPP where there are insults against each other. Now, if you insult me and you say I'm a rotten tomato and all that, after the primaries, we have 36 days to NDC and NPP primaries. After that, can we come together as a group and work together for the common good? Now, it all boils on the historical path. The historical path is about creating synergies between policies and efforts. I think that all of them have done a lot of efforts to convince delegates that they will be the best candidate. But the likability factor is who is more likable to win in the country. And that is where it is quite dicey. But delegates, Sir John said that fear delegates. And Musa, I recommend a book to you by Kelly, The Tale of Statistics. Behind the percentages that we all have, there are faces attached to the statistics. People can change by, in the line to vote when you give them money. I've also contested as an MP before. I've been a parliamentary candidate before that most people don't know.
Which is it?
In New Driving North, I'm in DC.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
So you will see it. So I know everything at the grassroots. I wrote a book on grassroots democracy about what I saw. And it was at my book launch that Kama, Dr. Makado came. That was my book launch.
You're the reason why
Yes.
it then died.
Yes. So I know every story in this country. I don't speak just like that. No, he chaired the book launch. And then when we finished and he talked about the haircut and everything, the government at that time called him that how much was his money that he's embarrassing the government, so they should give him back his money. As to whether he received his money or not, when he returned from a travel that he called me that he's sick, he's going to the hospital. 2 days, I was informed he died.
Oh.
So what I'm trying to say is that there are faces attached to the statistics numbers. Yeah. I'm glad that you talk about the margin of error, because once you sample population, there's going to be margin of error. And statistically, 3% plus or minus 3 is okay. Yeah, so within 2, it's really fair for us. But MPP should be careful the way they are insulting each other. We all see the trend. Bawumia will win.
Let me ask you something.
Bawumia will win. That is the trend that we have now.
It is messaging. I'm speaking to specific delegates, not national delegates.
Yes.
What's in concern national voters now?
Yeah, but delegates are also nationals.
Yeah, they are part.
They are people. So the messages that they are sending to delegates is also sending the same to Ghanaians, because in the end, when you win the primaries, you are coming to Ghanaians to vote for you.
You must be seeking to elect a potential president.
Yes, so that's what they are looking for. I've never seen an opposition government that is happy before, or a minority that is happy. If you are in a minority or opposition, you are not happy. You want to come to power. But let me show you why Republicans have always won elections, governorship in the Senate and in America. They look for values, not policies. Democrats go for policies, Republicans go for values. But in every situation, values trump policies. So they will go for pro-choice. You know, Democrats will go for pro-choice, that if I'm raped or my life is at risk, I have to go and abort. Republicans will say that you can't do that. Whether you were raped or life is at risk, keep the baby, because you have to, you know, pro-life. And because of that,
you're a Republican.
No. Because of that, you know, values always triumph policy. So let's look for values in our campaigning. And we should take insults and being feisty and all those things away, and tell the people what you can do for the citizen. Because MPP brand has been battered, brutally battered. But we also saw the last election that there was a 1 million gap. That is why I said NDC should not be blinded by the success.
You mean
because
the 26?
Political parties, political parties are two sides of persuasions. We all want to govern the country and serve, but from different philosophies and ideas. Now, what I've seen from all over the world, politics, is that if you rule for first, second term and going for the third term, and the other opposition doesn't even do anything, the people will begin to look at that direction. So we should be careful.
No, we
saturation tends to set in.
Yes.
Prof is virtually talking about we not being complacent with our
in 2 minutes.
We are not, and we will not.
Him as well. There is some critical issues based on the question I posed to them, which is about the messaging. You know, you'll find that the MPP says, look, this is the bulk of our historical voting pattern area, so we want to go there. And what is it they are not getting right? Because sometimes, for example, we had the former defense minister go to a place and was talking about, is it Bimobes or something like that?
Tribal politics.
So on one side, then you have it also on the other side as well. So the messaging, how is it resonating with people outside the MPP brackets in terms of appealing more regional, more religious, more tribal?
Look, I think our political class have lost sight of the value of demography, understanding the demography that they are trying to appeal to. And they tend to, apply a paintbrush to every corner of the room. Pam, 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 pam. But various people have various interests. You must understand what each group is looking for. First and foremost is the age of the voters. They have gotten younger. 75% of Ghanaian voters are below the age of 44 years. These people are less tribalistic, less religious, very dynamic, vote on issues. So if you want to pray to their fear, you'll be doing so and appealing to just a small group of people that they will not let you win. So you must seek to appeal to the conscience of people in the middle. People who are pragmatic, who want solutions to problems. So they don't care whether you are from here or there or there. Listen, what can you do for us? What can you do for me as a voter? That is more important. Yes, there are a small number of people who are ethnically inclined, want to vote ethnic way, those who will be voting based on religion, but they are becoming less vocal voice than the
majority.
Yeah,
so you're saying that the generality of the voter population in Ghana is now moving from those types of...
Absolutely, absolutely. Things have changed, and they're not aware that things have changed.
All right. I know that you've now been reassigned to where?
I have been reassigned to Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT as a deputy DG.
Oh, okay.
But more importantly,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you the same people doing the codes? And
so my main task as instruction from the presidency is to go and oversee the implementation of the 1 million codes. Kofi Annan Center.
When is it starting? It's long overdue.
I think it was piloted.
Yes.
Was it not piloted?
Yes, there are some pilots launched and later some pilots done. Will do the real activities next year, first quarter. We are partnering with some public universities to make their facilities available to us. And we have also procured some laptops to be used for the training. It is our hope and thinking that 2026 we should be able to do some 300 to 400 young people. Some international tech firms have also come to support the initiative. For instance, Huawei, MTN, Google, and Telecel, Telecel International have all promised to do 100,000 young people. So government now has responsibility to do about some 600 young people. And 2026, 2027, we'll give a good account of ourselves. And the NPP, if you remember, they also promised to train 1 million people in ICT-related issues. So this is the only initiative that should have a buy-in from the two major political parties, unless somebody wants to change his mind at this stage.
Has there been any policy that has gotten a buy-in from?
Oh, but in this case, both parties kept in our manifestos that we're going to train 1 million people. So they must come on board, and the focus is a young person in Ghana.
Mohammed Abdelaziz, former member of parliament for Myong, but currently the deputy
DG.
Kofi
I'm no more at Gifek again, where you left me. I'm no more there again.
Okay. The Kofi Annan ICT
Center of Excellence in ICT.
Okay. Center of Excellence in ICT. And then Musa Dankwa is the Executive Director, Global Info Analytics, is one of the leading posters. I hope you saved yourself from insult on Facebook. The way you face them, though, is nice. Anyway. And then, of course, lawyer Austin Bracco Powers is here. Ask Bracco Powers is his TikTok.
I was in every enti sana etie asem beba debi. Asem kesiye pa. In fact, asem kesiye beba debi. Asem beba debi. That is the only thing I can say for now. Because ye hwe the echo na ye hwe sede eniemu esi kwa asem beba debi. Asem beba debi. Ghana asem beba debi. Ni na eye NPP amanyukoyi. Tise utie Musa Dankwa Dr. Alhaji Bawumia LED by 45%. And now Dr. Ayura Kennedy Japan lead by 31%. Now I know very well since election way they will try to squeeze things for Alhaji Bawumia. I know very well say election way it will never be free and fair because there is no election in this country NPP for one kasomaya or are free and fair that. And ya papa Kennedy Japan and kasa ya we enti asenkesiye eba na frank esiso 2026 and I be hu apontreni the tintin because I want to be hu MPP for mu omu bobre obi ani abiro. I'm telling you, everybody are very serious, especially Team Ken. okupe team kena kachia we see yema we sisi in fact it is going to be a serious election. And as Americans, people don't get it well. But let me tell you, I can see far away, and I've told you I have the political lens. Mega, I have the political lens I look into, and I am smelling some beef, serious one between NPP Ken and Dr. Laji Bomia. You go to some more candy home. Now in some more can for the past 3 months in here. Abusiafo Edin Sebomia Ewenia Team Kennedy Japan Ebenya akuma fine Edi Bomia campaign team ne echi. Sanso na Edin say Kennedy Japan Ewenia Team Bomia Manasi Team Dr. Laji Bomia Obenya akuma fine clear conscience. In fact, clear hearts with no hard feelings, with no issues. Ebedi animu so mokoye campaign Ediama Kennedy Japan. Say na nse oti nsem adwasa for the tuja. It was like an attack, personal one. And since that once adwasa for nkasa bio. Do you know why? Amemo nchirimu. Enkofo afra adwasa for. Na Dr. Leheji nkofo afra adwasa for aka che ne se nsem okan no. She has rather campaigned for Kennedy Japan. Because adwasa for nsem okan na echirimu a Kennedy Japan enye obi a ososo sebi family and friends so. Onye obi a ososo favoritism, nepotism, what can I say, ethnicity, ethnocentrism, where minia entini me yenye ni say tribalism, sadism no on so. After adversafo ni serious campaign na hiti ye no, a obi aka ho asem no, ene mpanyimfo fra adversafo say asem aka yi. In fact, you have destroyed a lot of things. A lot of things. And before for adversafo, aka chance adversafo, the way we destroy nema bebre. Because in the first place, no, one me who say one kasa we interest na wo hwehwe. One Ghana for aiden. Who say adversafo, Sarah adversafo, honorable Sarah adversafo. You were looking for your personal interest. Senka this and kan kasa wono, but Kennedy Japan inya by all means omma wadwuma. Anka ye bia kwa Sarah Joseph di bia ben na wunya na NPP mo to the extent say when you deputy majority leader pen na meboa. You have been a minister before for about almost 8 years. Suban na itu fit so obi entu wan fi suba suban. You get it. It is such a person no. Etim tina say san ye campaign ka so pe position. Oni attach yen na omuni padua ba akopɛ. Lawyer attach ya. Oni na omuni padua say eye koro. They have one show. Only lawyer attach ya. Omuni na is selfish. They don't think about this country. They are thinking about themselves, about their family, their friends, and what they will eat to fill this belly. Like I just have for the end here, papa japa dear with Jana Hui, papa said they would and Kawiti meet Nancy Eka Security Japan, a be dear new perch anymore because of so any will be finting or wow, and for that matter, you have declared their support for Bomia. And Bomia people should know, say, I just have you be a say more, even when you have been able to be in government, that's a more ignore now. She will come back for you. She will come back and hit hard on you. So you have to know that. Eti Bomia, any Edi Raken. In fact, coming days, that is in the next near future, 2026, I come rekitua bi metia wabi na ya yede ye room ye beti asumi nsem Mesro so document betum na wa like na wa share na wa subscribe sansa hanom ewe na bo authentic platform e dey 7 mu ye national asset to makacha the Mega TV national channel. I'm telling you ye yanko TV so but enye den ya ebekọ so ye national asset. National asset gina na so 24/7 obi antimi nto ye. I'm telling you obi antimi nto ye ba na politics I mean ginam outstanding. I don't give any news apart from politics. You get me? Iti Mr. Wada ba hwehwe me a na wa subscribe. Esansa hanom na obenye news no. Once you see me new kakra chichide na ntie iguso ayeba. Iti sana adwuma no eti meso. So be de ube subscribe hinya me papa na ube like this very video. Na wa share ma foforo oni bi ahwe. Because hanan de yigine na so 24/7. Ye mamu news any holiday anyway e banko ade nbesebo. Yakupon sha kira wadwen e comment section. Makrao. Bye bye.